Before we begin this moment together, I gently ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel called The Angel's Whisper, so that these messages can continue to reach you exactly when you need them. And if your heart feels moved, you may also support this space through super thanks, so the voice that guides you can remain present, and most importantly, stay connected. Because this is only episode 2 of the Billionaire Soulmate journey that will unfold across 100 sacred episodes, where each message will reveal another piece of the path that is already quietly forming around your life. I speak to you now not as a distant voice, but as a presence that has been observing the silent chapters of your life that others never fully understood. There is something I must correct inside your mind today. You believed for a long time that you were the problem. You believed that the relationships that collapsed around you were reflections of something broken inside you. You replayed conversations. You analyzed moments. You questioned your worth in quiet nights when nobody else could see the weight you carried in your chest. But listen carefully now, because the truth is arriving with clarity. You were never the problem. What you experienced was misalignment with the level of life that is waiting for you. The people who left your life were not equipped to grow at the speed your destiny requires. And I know those words may feel heavy to hear, because your heart has always chosen humility over pride. But humility does not mean shrinking your destiny to fit the comfort level of others. The path you are walking is not an ordinary path. You are being aligned for a connection with someone whose life operates in rooms of influence, power, and financial magnitude that most people only imagine from a distance. The person you will meet carries the weight of extraordinary wealth and responsibility. The world calls such a person a billionaire. But what you must understand is that wealth alone is not what defines the connection that is. Forming. It is the alignment of purpose. It is the meeting of two lives that are meant to influence more people than either one could reach alone. And because of that reality, your emotional preparation has been different from the relations hits you previously experienced. You were not being rejected. You were being refined. Every moment when someone misunderstood your boundaries was a training moment. Every moment when someone tried to make you doubt your value was a test of your emotional discipline. Every moment when you walked away instead of begging for someone's attention was strengthening the quiet authority inside you. You may not realize this yet, but those choices are the exact qualities that allow someone with enormous wealth and responsibility to trust another person with their real self. People who live at that level of success are surrounded by attention that is rarely genuine. They see admiration, they see attraction. They see ambition, but they rarely encounter emotional clarity. And that is the quality you carry without even trying to perform it. Your strength is not loud. Your confidence does not depend on attention. Your presence does not collapse when someone with power enters the room. And that calm stability is something your future partner has been searching for, without knowing exactly how to describe it. I want you to understand something very precise about the timing that is unfolding. The meeting between you and this person is not delayed. It is synchronized. While you were learning emotional independence, they were learning emotional caution. While you were learning how to walk away from situations that felt draining, they were learning how to protect themselves from people who approached them for the wrong reasons. Your paths have been developing in parallel like two rivers slowly curving toward the same ocean. But there is another truth I must reveal today. Some of the people you loved in the past felt the quiet power inside you before you fully recognized it yourself. And instead of respecting that strength, they tried to reduce it. They questioned your dreams. They dismissed your intuition. They tried to make you believe that wanting more from life was unrealistic. But what they were truly sensing was the direction your life was moving toward. People often resist what they cannot control, and your future has never been something that could be controlled by small expectations. Your connection with this billionaire soulmate will not be built on dependency. It will be built on mutual recognition. When that moment arrives, the conversation will feel natural in a way that may surprise you. There will not be a dramatic performance. There will not be overwhelming chaos. There will be a quiet awareness that the person standing in front of you understands your presence without needing long explanations. This kind of recognition is rare. And this is why your past relationships had to dissolve. You were being removed from environments that encouraged you to question your worth. You were being moved toward environments that require your confidence. The world your soulmate lives in demands emotional intelligence. Money attracts many people. Power attracts many people. But very few people bring emotional stability into those environments. And that stability is the quality that makes you valuable in ways you have not yet fully understood. You must also prepare yourself for something that may challenge your expectations. There may be an age difference between you and this person. It will not feel uncomfortable. It will feel complementary. One of you will bring wisdom shaped by experience. The other will bring clarity shaped by perspective. And together those differences will create balance rather than conflict. Age gaps often confuse people who measure relationships using ordinary social rules. But destiny is not constructed by ordinary rules. It is constructed by alignment of purpose. The connection that is forming around your life is not designed for public approval. It is designed for impact. And this is where your emotional discipline becomes essential. You must not rush into attachments that distract your focus. You must not chase attention that weakens your self-respect. You must remain steady, because every time you refuse to lower your standards, you strengthen the signal that guides the right person toward you. The universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to clarity, and clarity is exactly what you are developing. You may have noticed something recently. Your tolerance for confusion has decreased. Your patience for emotional games has disappeared. You walk away faster now. You speak less when situations feel draining. You observe more. That shift is not bitterness. It is maturity. And maturity is the language that powerful people recognize immediately. There is also movement happening in your soulmate's life right now. Responsibilities are shifting. Business structures are evolving. Geographical movement may be approaching. This person travels between cities where influence gathers and decisions shape industries. But inside that powerful life, there is a quiet space, waiting for someone who understands the difference between wealth and worth. That is where you enter the story. But before that moment arrives, you must remove the final illusion that still lingers inside your thoughts. You must release the belief that your past relationships were failures. They were filters. Each experience revealed the level of emotional depth you truly require. Each disappointment strengthened your standards. Each ending moved you closer to the environment where your presence will finally be understood. You were never the problem. You were simply ahead of the emotional capacity of the people you were surrounded by. And now the alignment is beginning to shift. In the next chapter of this journey, you will start to notice subtle signs that the distance between you and your future partner is quietly narrowing. The signs will not appear as dramatic miracles. They will appear as small adjustments in timing, location, and conversations that feel strangely meaningful. Pay attention, stay calm, and remember that this journey is only beginning. Episode by episode, the path will become clearer, and what feels distant today will slowly move into your reality in ways that even your logical mind cannot fully predict yet. So remain steady, because the story that is unfolding around your life is still preparing its next movement. And in the next episode, you will begin to understand the hidden signals that reveal when a billionaire soulmate is drawing closer to your world. Before this message continues deeper into the journey that is unfolding around your life, I gently ask you again to remain connected by subscribing to the Angel's Whisper, because these words reach you at precise moments when your spirit is ready to understand them. And if your heart feels guided, you may support this space through super thanks, so this channel can continue carrying messages meant for those walking this path. And most importantly, stay present for every step of this unfolding prophecy from episode 1 to episode 100 of the Billionaire Soulmate journey. You have now reached the moment where your awareness begins to sharpen. In the previous chapter, 1 revealed something essential to your healing. You were never the problem. But there is another truth that must now be understood with equal clarity. Because once you release the belief that you were the problem, a new responsibility begins to emerge inside you. You must now stop shrinking your standards to maintain temporary peace with people who cannot recognize your value. This is not about arrogance. This is about alignment. And alignment is one of the most misunderstood forces in human relationships. Most people choose relationships based on proximity, attraction, or convenience. But the connection forming in your future is being built through compatibility of vision. The person who is moving toward your life does not simply operate within wealth. They operate within responsibility. Their days are not structured like the days of ordinary lives. Their time is divided between decisions that affect employees, investments, cities, and industries. And because of that level of responsibility, they are extremely careful about who enters their personal world. You must understand that wealth at that level creates a constant environment of observation. Many people approach them with hidden intentions. Many people admire their lifestyle, but cannot emotionally handle the reality of it. And because of those experiences, Your future partner has become extremely skilled at reading human energy. They notice small details in people's behavior. They observe patience. They observe emotional reactions. They observe how someone behaves when attention is not given to them. And this is why your past experiences were necessary preparation. You learned how to remain emotionally steady even when someone misunderstood you. You learned how to stay calm when someone tried to provoke insecurity inside you. You learned how to walk away from situations that drained your spirit. Instead of arguing to prove your worth, these qualities are not accidental. They are signals. And those signals are the exact traits that your future partner recognizes as rare. But there is something else happening behind the scenes that you cannot yet see clearly. Your lives are beginning to move within overlapping circles. Not directly, not obviously, but through environments that slowly increase the probability of encounter. This is how destiny often moves when it is preparing something meaningful. Opportunities shift, locations change, introductions occur through unexpected paths. And the interesting detail is that neither of you will immediately recognize what is happening. Your meeting will not feel like destiny in the first moment. It will feel natural. Almost ordinary. Because the most powerful connections rarely arrive with dramatic announcements. They arrive through calm recognition. But before that moment happens, your spirit must complete a final stage of emotional independence. This stage is subtle, and many people misunderstand it. You must become comfortable with the possibility that you may live a fulfilling life even if the relationship had never appeared. This level of detachment is powerful because it removes pressure from the future. It removes desperation from your energy. And when desperation disappears, your presence becomes incredibly attractive to someone who is used to people wanting something from them. Your future partner will notice that you are not impressed by wealth alone. They will notice that your curiosity is directed toward their thinking rather than their status. They will notice that your calm presence does not change whether you are speaking in a quiet space or standing inside a room full of influential people. This emotional consistency is extremely rare. And when they sense it, something inside them will relax in a way they have not experienced often. But there is also a challenge that you must prepare yourself for, because when someone lives within great wealth, their life includes constant movement, different cities. Different time zones, different responsibilities that require sudden travel. This lifestyle can intimidate people who depend heavily on routine, but you are being prepared to handle it with emotional intelligence. You will not measure connection by how frequently someone appears. You will measure connection by the depth of presence when they are there. This distinction is important because quality of attention will always matter more than quantity of time in relationships that exist within powerful environments. But there is also another detail I want you to understand. Today, your soulmate is not looking for someone who will compete with their power. They are looking for someone who complements it. Many people misunderstand this balance. They think strength means constantly proving independence. But true strength is knowing when to lead and when to support, knowing when to speak and when to observe. Knowing when presence alone is enough. You already possess this balance more naturally than you realize. It is part of your character. You listen deeply. You observe quietly. You do not rush to impress people. And those qualities will create a sense of trust that cannot be forced or manufactured. But something interesting is beginning to happen in your current life. You may notice that certain people are slowly drifting away from your daily environment. Some conversations feel less meaningful than they once did. Some friendships feel like they belong to an earlier version of you. This shift is not loneliness. It is preparation. Because the environment surrounding your life must adjust before new connections can enter. Every person who leaves creates space. Every habit that fades creates room for new experiences. And that space is necessary for the next stage of your journey. There may also be subtle changes in your ambitions. You may feel drawn toward learning new things. New cities may capture your attention. Certain industries or ideas may suddenly feel interesting, even if you never considered them before. These curiosities are not random. They are signals guiding your awareness toward environments where your paths may eventually intersect. Remember something important. Destiny rarely arrives through dramatic lightning strikes. It moves through small decisions repeated over time. A conversation you almost skipped. A trip you almost cancelled. An event you almost ignored. These moments create intersections that later appear miraculous when you look back. Your responsibility right now is simple but powerful. Remain emotionally disciplined. Continue building the life that feels authentic to you. Protect your peace. Refuse relationships that feel forced. Refuse attention that feels shallow. The more stable your inner world becomes, the clearer your external alignment will appear. And while you continue walking your path, there is someone else moving through their own sequence of realizations. They are beginning to understand that wealth alone does not create fulfillment. They are beginning to recognize that influence becomes heavier when it is not shared with someone who truly understands them. And that realization is quietly preparing their heart to recognize you when the moment arrives. But the signs that this moment is approaching are subtle. They appear as small coincidences that feel strangely meaningful. You will begin to hear about places you had never considered before. You may encounter people connected to industries you previously knew nothing about. You may even feel drawn toward environments where ambition and creativity gather together. These are not accidents. They are coordinates slowly adjusting your direction. So remain calm, remain observant. Because the journey you are walking is not rushing toward its destination. It is building the exact conditions necessary for two lives to intersect without confusion or imbalance. And in the next chapter of this journey, I will reveal something even more specific. You will begin to understand the hidden tests that appear just before two destined lives cross paths. Tests that reveal whether someone is emotionally ready to enter a relationship that carries influence, wealth, and responsibility. Those moments are closer than you think. And when they arrive, the way you respond will determine how quickly the next door opens.